Hi, welcome to Make a Christmas Card from Production to Print. I just wanted to talk you through a couple of options as to where to buy your cards, or maybe you've got some stock in already. I've got a box here full of paper and card that I've collected over the years, and I've used a few sheets of that to make a few cards. And basically it's all A4, and I just fold it in half. You'll find instructions on how to do that on the first Make a Card session. The other option is to use your watercolour paper out of a pad. You can just tear a strip out and just literally paint your image on one side of the card. So you fold it in half like this, fold it in half, and then paint on the side that you want the image on. Okay, again, there's instructions on the first session on how to do that. The other option is to buy sheets of card. So I think I got this from Tesco, so you can buy them in Tesco. The range, I'll include a sheet of information for you as to where to buy these things, and they come in all different shapes, sizes. This is A4 again. You can get them cut to A5, which is half of A4 if you want to make smaller cards, and this is just quite a bright white paper, so get a colour that you want for your cards. I mean, there's no reason why you can't print onto green or red or whatever. Obviously your images will look slightly different. This is quite thin, but it's okay, you know, it does perfectly well, and I will show you what a print looks like at the end of this tutorial on a piece of card that I've printed on my own computer and using my own printer. Okay, you can also buy packs of ready-made cards. I go to the Works for mine, but you can buy them in Wilkinson. Sometimes you get them in pound shops, and they might come in sets of 5 or 10 or 25 or 35, or you know, up and up. But they're good because they come with envelopes that fit as well, so you don't have to go out and buy envelopes. Obviously, if you do these on your own pieces of watercolour paper, then you have to then go out and buy envelopes to fit. Okay, which obviously you can get at your local newsagents, or you know, wherever. Okay, the other option is to buy A1 sheets of card, which are really cheap, and cut them into pieces, and then you can make cards of whatever size you want. So you can make little mini cards, you can make you could also produce labels for your Christmas presents and all that sort of thing. So you know, you could really go to town, and even you can now get wrapping paper printed. So once you've got your images, you could go to a specialist firm. Now these are all online, but if you just type in print your own wrapping paper, and then you literally just send them the image and they will print wrapping paper off for you, and they'll even personalise it so you can put names on, you know, and things like that, which is really cool. Okay, so the next time you well, in a minute I will show you how to actually print an image on your computer, okay, using Word, which I think most people have. Okay, so on my laptop here, or on your computer, you may have a version of Word. So if you have, open the package up, and this is what you should get. So the first thing we need to do is to go to File and to Page Setup. Okay, and what you need to do is click on Landscape like that. Okay, and that changes your orientation from portrait to landscape as it is visualized here. The other thing to do is to set your margins on 0.5. So go to each one of those, click on with your cursor, click at the end, delete, and then put 0.5. Do it with all of them. 0.5. Okay, and then press OK. Make sure you press OK, because otherwise it won't remember what you've asked it to do. Okay, and there we have it. So if you've got a big page like this and you want the view to be smaller, if you go to View and to Zoom, you can reduce the size of the picture down. So go to 75%, and then you'll get your whole card, more or less the whole card in on your screen. Okay, so what happens if we insert an image now? So if you insert, go to Insert up here, Insert, Picture from File. I've already got my pictures ready. So if I go into my files, where is my Christmas? There. And I've got a picture there waiting. That's what happens, right? So, but you can see that the picture is on the left hand side of my card, which means it will be on the wrong side for printing. You want it to be over here. Okay, so what can we do about that? So if you were to fiddle with it, you can put your cursor down the bottom. I don't know whether you saw what I did there. If you click on it, the box appears around your picture, and that's to say where it's going to be put. If you click carefully by the bottom, can you see outside the box, but by the bottom left, the cursor comes, and if you just press your space bar, the picture will move across. Oops. Now, that's what happened, right? I went too far, and the picture has gone onto a second sheet. So if that happens, just click the cursor back and click backspace, and it'll come back to where it's supposed to go. Now, the problem with this is if you go to File now and Print Preview, you can see that the image is now on the right hand side. But is it far enough over so that you can make a crease down the middle? And we don't really know until we print it if it is, but you can sort of roughly look up here to your ruler and see where the image is sitting. So it's sitting between 14 and 28 or 29, right? So it is sitting halfway, but I think it might be too close to this margin here when you print it, where your fold is going to be. So what we're going to do is go back and just space bar it again, but it's going to flip over to my next page. So remember what I said, go to backspace and it'll go back again. So that's as far as it goes. Now we might not get it all in, so I'm going to make it a bit smaller. And then we can move it over a bit. So did you see how I did that? So I clicked on the image, and you can take any of the little boxes, and if you hover over them, you can reduce or enlarge your image. Yeah? So if you make a mistake, and you want to undo it, right, go to edit and go undo resize. Undo resize. And it just goes back each time to what you had before. So you can see I'm going through all the steps and it's now back on the left hand side, right? So remember what I did? I opened my image and then I put the cursor on the left hand side and I moved it over using the space bar. Yeah? If it goes to the second page, go delete and it'll go back up. Alright, so let me start again. So I've got my blank page. I'm going to go to insert, picture, from file. There's my picture. There it is. And I'm going to click by the bottom outside, just outside the box on the bottom left, and then I'm going to space bar it across. And then I'm going to click on the image again and I'm going to resize it. So I'm just going to reduce it slightly and then I'm going to just move it over. And you've got to hope that that is in the right place for you. Just keep moving it around. If you want to move it down, then just press return. Ooh, no, hang on. Yeah, keep pressing return so that it goes down to the bottom of the page and then space bar it across. And it really depends on where you want to put your text. Oops. Okay. So remember, space bar down and it'll return down to the bottom. Oh, hang on, it's gone on to the second page. Just do that again. Okay, so across, resize. It's gone on to the second page again. Hang on a sec. Okay, so once you've got it in place, I'm going to leave it about there. You can check where it's going to go. Print preview. Right, so it's there. So it looks okay, right? So how do we now put text in here? Right, so you can see where the box is. You can't put text within that box, but you can put it above it. So if we take our cursor, which is now back up here, right, and we click it across, we can get it above the Christmas tree. And what we can do now is we can put some text in. So we can put Happy Christmas. Okay, now you don't have to do this. You can handwrite it, you can leave it blank, it's up to you. But just remember that you can't put it within the box. So I just clicked on my tree. Click on your tree. Can't put it in the box, right? It's got to go outside of the box. So I've got my Happy Christmas. I'm going to highlight it. So I've put my cursor at the end. Left click and drag. Okay. And then you can resize it. So I can go up here and I can increase the size of it. Yeah. I can change the text. So I can put it into script or bold or whatever. This is the text type here. Alright. You can also change the colour. So up here there's a thing called font colour. And I can make it red. So you can see it's slightly over. Click back at the front and then click backspace until it gets in the center. You can do this by eye. Okay. So that is the sort of easiest way. You might want to experiment a few times with sizes and shapes, and if you make it too big it goes underneath, it flicks the tree to underneath to make it smaller. Let's take it down to 22 and the tree comes back. Okay, so experiment, see what you can do with your Word document. Okay, so once you're done, go to print preview again and check it out, right? Okay, the other thing you can do is you can go to Word Art. Now, is it on here? I don't know if I've got Word Art here anymore. No. Okay, don't worry about that. There is a way of sort of curving your lettering and things like that. Let me just check in here. No, it's not there either. There used to be a thing called Word Art, but I don't think it's there anymore by the looks of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print this card now. I've got a sheet of white card, you know, the white card that I showed you earlier on, this stuff. Okay, I've got a sheet of that in my printer and I'm just going to print it off and I'm going to see what it looks like. Now, you don't have to right. So when you go to print, I go to File and then Print, and it brings up a box like this. You may not have a box that comes up like this. It might look something different, right? So have a look and see that all your settings are right. Numbers of copies 1. Properties takes you to this. So you can print it in black and white, and you can print it on I recommend that you print it onto just a simple piece of photocopying paper to begin with, just to see if it looks alright, and then you're not wasting your card. Okay, so do that. Check your ink levels, make sure you've got that. You can go to best photo if you want to at the top here. Page layout, all these things, they're all, you can sort of look in those, but you must click OK. So I'm just going to click OK and see what happens, right? And you should hear my printer go. Also check your spelling. Alright, so like I said, if you just print onto a piece of plain paper to begin with, you'll hear my printer going now. Just to see if it works first, and then you won't waste your card. Okay, also remember to save. So go to File, Save As. I'm sorry if the screen is wobbling a bit, but my arm is a bit wobbly. It's not my arm, it's the arm that holds the camera. I've just realised it's wobbling a lot, and I think that's the printer doing that. So I'll just hold it steady. So in here I've got my work file. I go to cancel, oops, sorry, Save As, YouTube, where's my Christmas? So I would save it in there, and I would save it as something like finished Christmas card number 1, or card, you could just call it card 1. That means it's finished. Okay, and then press save. Make sure you save these things, because if you don't, you won't have them to print in the future, and you might want to use these cards next year, you know. So okay, so there we have it. So there's the card. Okay, printed. Now, depending on the quality of your card and the quality of your printer, it will have a huge effect on how the final piece prints. Okay, so this is cheap card. This was, I don't know, 10 sheets for £1 or something, right? So it's made from recycled paper. It's not too bad actually, but it does have a slight sort of greyness to it. So if you want a better quality image, then you need to use good paper, good printing inks, hopefully have a good printer. Alright, so here's the so in the end you've got your card, right? So there you go. So all you need to do now is fold it in half and you'll have your card. Alright, so it'll be like this. Okay, so problems. If you find that your image is not far enough over, the only option is to do this, like I said, is to just put your cursor there and just pop it. It keeps going to the next page. So move it backwards by backspace and forwards by using your space bar. Okay, and the same with your title. You can pop your cursor back there and you can move it over a bit so that it sits further over on your piece of card. So if you find that this side here is too wide, then you need to move your image over and you need to move your title over. Okay, so just fiddle about until you've got it right. The other option, so that's how to print onto normal card using your own printer. The other option is to, which is slightly different. So if I cut that, so when I go to File and Print, oops, no, sorry. When I go to Insert, oh no, hang on, sorry, we can do another thing. So this is not in Word, so I'm just going to open up my document again. So we're going to go to Work, okay, so there's my finished image. Okay, so I right click on my icon here, right click and go to print. So there's my image. What you can do is go and print off 4. So if you increase the copies of each picture, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then click on this here, which is 4 images on one piece of paper. So you could do 9 images on one piece of paper, and you could cut those up. So if you click 9, you've got to increase the numbers of the images to 9. You get 9 little Christmas trees, right? And you can make your own Christmas present labels doing that. So you can then just print that onto a piece of card and cut them out, and then you've got your own labels, right? So if we go back to 4, are we going to do 4? Yeah, sorry. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, you got 4 images. So then you can just print off 4 images on a piece of card, and you can cut those out and stick them down onto your cards, right? So you've got a stuck down Christmas tree onto a piece of card. So that's another way of doing it. Okay, so you've got your cut out many and stick them onto a piece of card using Pritt Stick, glue, whatever you want to do. You've got your printed image, which I saved somewhere. Where did I save that now? There. On your piece of card. Okay. Let me just... Okay, so you've got this image, yeah, printed onto your piece of card using your own printer. And the other option is to go to somewhere like ProPrint in Carmarthen. So they're online. I'll include a list of information about them. All you then have to do is send them an image or take an image in. If we're out of lockdown, you can take an image in or send it in, like I said, by email, and they will print you off multiples. So you can do 10, 20, 100 cards with envelopes. So you don't have to do any of this using Word and using your own printer and so on and so forth. So if you're not computer savvy, then that is a much easier way of doing it, and it works out quite cheaply if you think about how much you pay per card. Okay, so I will, like I said, I'll include a list of printers that you can send your work to who will print off cards for you in time for Christmas. Okay, so I've talked about how to print. Now, how do you get your image on to your computer? So I've got the original watercolour here, okay, which I painted onto a piece of watercolour paper. All I did was I laid this down on a nice bright surface, level surface, like a table, kitchen table, dining table, whatever, and I took a picture of it using my iPhone. Alright, so you just look at it through your screen and take a picture like you would do any other photograph. Okay, and this is what I got, right? So this is my original picture of my Christmas tree. Okay, and that is what you could send to ProPrint, and it's also what you could use to print your own on your own laptop. Okay, the only problem is I didn't do it close enough, and I've managed to get the line of the fold of the card here. I don't know whether you can see it. Okay, and it's also quite grey, and this is probably because I took the picture on a dull day. I was just doing it quickly the other day. Alright, so what do you do if that happens? Now, again, if you're not technically minded, you could just send this picture to ProPrint, and they will get rid of this, and they will lighten this background for you and make it white, so that when you print it, you get a nice clean image like this. Alright, there's no grey on it, there's no light on it. They'll charge you a couple of pounds for doing that, but it's worth it. However, if you want to do it yourself, then, and you've got some kind of photographic manipulation package on your computer, I have Photoshop. You can actually do this on your phone now. When you take a picture, you can go to edit, and it will clean up the picture for you. But if you want to do it on your computer, I've got Photoshop. You can do it in Illustrator. There's loads of different packages, and there's a lot that are a lot more simple now. This is the cleaned up image. It's opened it for me. But if I show you how I did it, again, you may choose not to do this, but you might fancy learning how to do it. So this is the original image. Okay, so what I did was I went to these boxes here. I don't know whether you can see them actually. Let me just turn these boxes over here, and you can see set foreground colour here is white. Now if I change that to red or something like that, so all I did was I clicked on the box, and then I clicked on this box over here to choose the colour. So it could be green, whatever, and you press OK. That little box there goes green, and then if you go to this little bucket here, the little bucket there, click on that. That is called a fill tool, right? And if I go now over here and I hover over the area that I want to fill and I click it, it'll make it green. Now if you wanted the background to be green, that's great, and you can print it like that, it's up to you. But I don't. I want it to be white. So I'm going to go back up to the white bit, which is right up this top corner. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me go white. I want to get a proper white. I'm going to go here. Okay. And now my box, you can see over here, has gone white. So I'm going to take the little bucket and I'm just going to go back over there and I'm going to fill it, and it goes white. So what that has done is it has made the background nice and white and crisp, so that it doesn't print in the grey colour that was there originally. Okay, so then you go to save as, and you save your image as your final picture like I've done here. Okay, alright, so that's how you clean your image up using Photoshop or some kind of editing package. But like I said, if you can't do that, then ProPrint will do it for you. Alright, they'll make it nice and clean. It is just a couple of clicks away from being a clean and tidy image. Alright, the other option, as I did talk about before, is to put stickers here. So in the range and places like that, you can buy Merry Christmas stickers and things like that, or even stamps. You can make your own stamps, and you can put those on here instead. You can add stickers around the outside if you wanted to. You can put glitter on. You can do whatever you like, but just play around with how to do that. Okay, I hope that helps. You may already know a few of those things. If you have any problems, just send me an email, and I can either show you how to do it, or I can just write some instructions, or I can just point you in the direction of some videos that will help you. Okay, good luck everybody. I hope that you get lots and lots of lovely Christmas cards out of this session that we're doing, and please send me some examples. And you don't have to do them exactly the same as mine. You could make your own versions. Alright, good luck everybody. Merry Christmas. I know it's a bit early but there we go. Alright, see you again.